Awusiasi Ebekaya during 2024 elections wabra na amanyuku ahodoɔ ɛyɛ campaign ɛwɔ ɔman Ghana mu ha no NDC amanyuku no na His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ɛda ɔma no ɔmo kyerɛ sɛ ɔmo ba deɛ a ɛyɛ first year tertiary schools amanfoɔ a ɔmo ba bewura ɛyɛ university a ɔmo wɔ first year no saa nkurɔfoɔ ni nyinaa no yebetua ɔmo school fees ɛde ama ɔmo free a ɔmo ntua kapre ni nyinaa no ɛyɛ aban no kwan a ɔfa so ɛde improve education anaasɛ aban no kwan a ɔfa so ama amanfoɔ bebree atumi anya ɛyɛ access to ɛyɛ university a ni nyinaa no ɔmo kan ɛwɔ ɔmo manifesto mu na no ɛna after see to aba no wie ya His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ba ɛde ɔbɔ ɔmɔden ɛma ɔmo di kan kɔ first year na ɔmo tua school fees ansa ɛne yɛsua His Excellency John Dramani Mahama inu saa time no ɔbɔ ɔmɔden ɛde beziska ɛde ma anaasɛ ɔrefande saa nkɔfoɔ ni nyinaa no ɔmo school fees ɛde ma ɔmo a amanfoɔ bebree bɔgye His Excellency John Dramani Mahama so a na ɔmo kyerɛ sɛ wei deɛ ebi nsi da ohwɛ ɛyɛ sɛ first year university ɛyɛ yɛtua ɔmo school fees ɛde ama ɔmo free ne deɛ a na ɛsɛ amanfoɔ kyerɛ sɛ ɛbɛboa yie paa ɛma amanfoɔ ɔmo ni bi ɔmo fie ɛni bi ɛtumi anya access to ɛyɛ tertiary education nanso ɛnɛ deɛ awofoɔ na ba abɔnten a ɔmo kyerɛ sɛ sɛ deɛ His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wayɛ sɛ sɛbe sasabonsam no ɔde ne nsa nifa ma wade a na wafa potipan so no ɔde ɛyɛ benkum no agye ne ho a ɛde afa akyire because according to them no ɔmo kyerɛ sɛ ohwɛ ɛyɛ last year school fees a na continuing student for no etua for tuition fee no omutua for last year continuing student for a fee level 200 adequacy levels 600 ni ade ohwɛ school fees a no omutua ɛne enei school fees a saa nkɔfoɔ ni ba betua de a ɔmo kyerɛ sɛ ɛne Robin Peter to pay Paul school fees na omutua no free ɛwɔ first year no ɛnoa ɛne akyɛ gu ɔmo sika so a afei deɛ ɔmo ba betua na ɛno ɛna amanfoɔ kyerɛ sɛ ɛne deɛ His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ɛyɛ deɛ ɔmo dwene ho a ɔmo nte aseɛ awofoɔ ne bebree aba abɔnten ɛnso aba abɛkyerɛ ɔmo concerns ɛwɔ ɛyɛ abɔnten a ɛyɛ education minister nso ɔmo abɔ no kɔkɔbɔ ɔmo kyerɛ sɛ 2028 no ɛwɔ yɛ hwenia no ha yi ana sei na ɔmo ba bɛhyɛ aseɛ deɛ a ɛne 2028 ɔmo forget because ɛnya deɛ a ɔmo bɛsa nso akɔto aba ɛde ama NDC amanyɔkuo ni biom ensɛm deɛ ɛyɛ awofoɔ yi ɛne school nkɔraa yi aka bi ɛde akyɛ NDC amanyɔkuo ni yi pa yɛbɔ nwuram yɛnkotie ɛho asɛm nyinaa ne ɛba a yɛde de aka nyinaa no ato am so
yakɔ ensɛm foforɔ mu a ne yɛba nkranha University of Ghana ne yɛsuapɔn kɛse a ɛwɔ ɔman mu sabre wɔn mu school fees ho nsɛnsɛm aba abɛto dwa ɛwɔ afi mu na no ɛna schoolfoɔ no ɛbuafu paa sɛ school fees ɛbaeɛ no ɔhankyekye mu aduonu 25% ɛna wɔn de ato so ɛno aka ho bi ama schoolfoɔ no kyerɛ sɛ daabi aha ne hene nya deɛ wɔn bɛpene so apene so ne ɛne ɛkyena ya wɔn sɛ ɛsɛ sɛ aban ne mpanifoɔ a ɛka bi wɔ mu nyinaa ɛmmerɛ mu na wɔn hwɛ na saa ntumu a wɔn de aba mekyerɛ 2025-2026 academic year no wɔn hwɛ na wɔn enyi mfiri hɔ anaasɛ mpo no emu nkyerɛmu fikɔfikɔ paa esi aseɛ ɛmra sansɛ sɛdeɛ ɛkɔ no ɛnya deɛ a wɔn ɛte aseɛ na saa abira mu no kasa yi deɛ university no anasuapɔn no wɔn de aba bɛto edwa sɛ wɔn school fees no wɔn atototutum a wɔn kyehyɛ mu aduonu 25% ne da ebia ɛsoɔ na no wɔn kyɛ sɛ level 100 for no a afei koraa na mo ba no ɛne sika botene a afei wɔn mo ebetua no ɛyɛ 3110 Ghana cedis ɛna wɔn mo ebetua na yɛ sɛ wɔn kyehyɛ mu aduasa ɛnan na kakane no mutua 2319 ɛna sɛ aman mu so akosi 3110 no ɛna wɔn mo ɛkyɛ sɛ ebio mu so wɔn mo a ɛwɔ school mu dada na wɔn mo ɛtoa so no deɛ ɛno no afi bia no betua 2253 Ghana cedis ɛna sɛ no nso no ɔhankyekye mu aduonu ɛnson ɛna aba abɛtɔ soɔ kane no mutua 1777 ɛna sɛ akɔakɔpem saa ɛno ɛna nkyerɛmu no babio mu ɛkyɛ sɛ wokɔ suapɔn no mu a ɛyɛ University of Ghana School of Law no ɛno no kyɛ sɛ undergraduate freshers no wɔn ba foforɔ koraa no wɔn so betua 3226 Ghana cedis na ɛsɛ no nso hakyekyɛ mu aduasa mmiɛnsa ɛna abɛtɔ so wode toto afrasɛ deɛ yɛ 2435 Ghana cedis no a na saa na etie na ono aye continuing law student no ono so de no amane mu so every 1890 Ghana cedis ako 2396 Ghana cedis na eno na amanebo no atwemu biom se wono mu so a eye health sciences eye basic and applied sciences for ewo suapon no emu no ono so de no so atom yamam so hamchemodwenu enum eko aduasa enum eso na no na school for each said afari we dey apart from eja asia sansachi ye no an say na ami eba ne say na ye ko asabo na mpenfo amma school fees mu akodu empempeso sa na no mo chese o mo strada say I won ka bi ewo mu emre mu pa anase posuapon emfa enchirichiremu a esi asefiko emra de ko ba ya ahom school fees no ya pagya mu ema no eko nanimu sa na no na wo chichichimu a mpenfo echese enchemu a aba ama ebo no ekosoro no asa house hostel development levy no sa brede eko akodu 300 Ghana cedis sa na akodu no mo chese nyame adom afi 75th anniversary eno so ebekoso legacy project eno so 100 Ghana ene wono mo betua asa house welfare dues no ekope akodu 50 Ghana cedis ena ba ko bi o friend say graphic fees eno ye 5 Ghana cedis eno ene niema hodo a mpenfo echese akoka ho bi ama sabrede yes yapon no ko pimu a chese school fees no achechim anase yamam so ekosoro ya school for no echese wono mo mpenfo mra na omo emechiremu emfa emo.
Now, General Secretary of the Government NDC, Fifi Avikwete, has launched a scathing attack on sections of party members and the Ghanaian public advocating a third presidential term for President John Mahama. Addressing supporters at the 44th commemorative event of the 31st December Revolution in Ada, the General Secretary insisted that individuals behind such calls are sycophants who do not have the interests of the party at heart, rather seeking to ingratiate themselves with those in authority for personal gains. Here's an excerpt of what he had to say.
Vigilance is such that Satan will be afraid to do what is wrong. That is the spirit of Jerry Rawlings. That is the bedrock of the revolution. That's the spirit that actually undergirds the NDC. A spirit that does not believe in sycophancy. A spirit that does not believe in boot licking. A spirit that places the people and the well-being of the people ahead at all moments. So these days it saddens me when I see so much sycophancy creeping into our party. I see a group of people who obviously, from every indication, they believe that singing the praises of a leader is the only way they can survive. And that's why you hear some of those people even urging statements like there should be a third term. It's just nothing but sycophancy. Pure sycophancy and bootlicking of the highest order. Jerry Rawlings, who was the founder of this party, never at any point was urged by anybody to go for any third term. And you have a bunch of sycophants who today think that all they need to do is to sing praises and hoping that somehow those praises will get them some opportunities that they are looking for. You don't love our country. You don't love our party. If you do, you will not be such sycophants. It's important for us to appreciate that this party was grounded on the need to work for our people. We say cadres may go, cadres may come, but the revolution has come to stay. That simply means it is not about individuals.
Meanwhile, legal practitioner Martin Pebo is urging Ghanaians to stop joking about a possible third term for former president and current president John Dramani Mahama, describing it as a sensitive issue since President Mahama himself has not expressed any interest in running again.
I agree with Fifi Kwete, absolutely. That's to say that it's not possible. President Mahama hasn't expressed an interest in running for a third term, because I remember that as far back as about 3-4 months ago, he made that public whilst he was away in Singapore, right? So this, it appears to me that some people are joking about it, but you know, we should be careful. Some jokes are expensive. that the mention of third term actually touches a lot of raw nerves. Yes, the mention of a third term for President Mahama touches a lot of raw nerves, so we should just stay away from it. It's not everything we should joke about. It will derail too many things, and so it will also erode the president's goodwill. So it's not good for us to continue to joke about it. No, because as I said, it touches raw nerves. It will increase a lot of insecurity, etc. I mean, there are other jokes we can have. I know Ghanaians like to joke a lot. Yes, we can have many other jokes, but not joking about a third term. There's no space at all for it. There's no space.
To the president of Imani Ghana, Franklin Kujo. Evo Lege.
How are you?
Very well. Very well, my brother. Happy New Year. Happy 2026. This year, be less on my case and don't fight. Significant is Fifi Kwaite's public rejection of third-term calls coming from within his own party.
Well, I think it's refreshing. At least it answers those who are on the other side of the political divide, especially your opponents in the NPP, who believe one way or the other that these are just people stoking the fires, and it's likely to be something that people are actually pushing from the highest echelons of power. Fifi's direct angst and basically saying that nobody's going to do that, even if it's appealing to people within your party, I mean the NDC party, it's good enough. It's just that part of me just feels that, well, look, allow people to express the way they feel, especially if they're experiencing what I call, if you compare day and night, essentially people are experiencing a lot of sunshine after having been held in the dark for a number of if you multiply this to 5 years, that's a lot of days, right? So people then become, people are expressing things they see. I mean, they see the freedom in the single-digit inflation. They see other economic indicators that are actually affecting their lives. You guys were just discussing the petrol thing, right? These are things that people live. And so if people feel that, look, this is a new sense of freedom, and long may it continue, if they want to express that in other terms, well, let's be a bit jocular, and then let's say, to the extent that it does not get to the highest echelons of power, get to parliament for people to start pressing the buttons and say, oh, we are majority, we're going to do this, it really wouldn't fly. And I know President Mahama is not interested at all. I mean, you know better than myself that these are just, I call them the flights of fancy against the fact that people are experiencing some renewed economic freedom. And for which
but Franklin,
a problem.
Franklin, does this statement that the General Secretary made reflect a deeper concern within the NDC about constitutionalism and internal discipline? Do you think that this speaks to a breakdown and requiring a public rebuke?
No, not at all. It's not reaching to that level at all. At the point I thought he was probably speaking to probably his inner self, but because I don't think it's received this widespread, if you like, how do you call it, welcome, and that some people are like leaders in the party are actually pressing it. If for nothing at all, if for anything at all, you probably must have heard a young people saying this. And by the way, some of them I've heard are not even NDC people, right? I've seen random people on my wall say all sorts of things, and these are not colored people in terms of political party representation. So Fifi is, the problem with, the party that virtually is now somehow, and Fifi is principal to that extent, by the way. So the party is more or less now very separated from the governing. So it appears to me Fifi is not being listened to by certain people, and so he's using these other avenues to vent, which is a good thing to do, and probably is found a canon for that. But I'm just saying that the level of angst and the background of which he delivered those comments, it appeared as if he had some prior fight with some other people. Because frankly speaking, I don't think it's reached to the level that people should be bothered. And I keep saying, these howls, these expressions of joy, flights of fancy, is against the fact that people are experiencing some real economic freedom.
But Franklin,
should be allowed.
Franklin, would you really call this flights of freedom or fanciful flights of freedom, bearing in mind, like you said, young apolitical Ghanaians who experienced the last 8 years and have seen the remarkable work that's been done in the last 365 days are beginning to question our whole democratic framework and say that, look, if it's working, why change it? If it's not broke, why fix it? If you have a government and a president who seems to be delivering, we look at other countries, we look at Singapore, we look at Malaysia, we look at Rwanda, all the various countries that I mentioned, they didn't run 2-term, 4-year governments. They allowed governments that were working to go beyond an 8-year mandate. Is that not a legitimate cause for pause for the political class in this country to say, look, do we want to sit down and have a conversation about this maybe in another 2 years and see where we are with President Mahama's governance? Or you think it's actually a no-brainer? No matter how good the food tastes, once you're full, you have to stop eating.
There's one thing I've come to know about the NDC. It's a political machine that actually delivers a lot of the goods. Against the backdrop of, humility, certain ethics, certain ethos that I'm afraid doesn't exist in other parties, right? So it's the machine that also works. And I think there's such discipline in the party that irrespective of whoever is at the helm, that thing is ingrained in you, right? You're not like the other guy who basically just misbehaves. So what you really need to be thinking about here is whether the party, this clarion call, will even be accepted by the rank and file. So it's not really about President Mahama's diktats, the things he's doing right now, whether they are diktats or they are constitutionally embedded in our whatever campaign promises. It is not just that. It is the fact that if the party, and again, while it's good he's doing it, by the way, but I'm just saying that because it's a party machine that is behind a president who is respectful of the constitution and his own party's constitution, I think these calls can only be addressed properly if we are saying that the whole machinery of the NDC should be considered. So irrespective of whether the President Mahama, as well as President Mahama leaves, then somebody else must also come. So I think that if it is not really flight of fancy, and if you want to take that, the expression of flight of fancy to something properly, something you want to think about it seriously, then I think people should rather should shepherd the current ship towards Nirvana and make sure that we deliver all the goods you want to deliver. If we deliver 80%, right now you guys are doing about 60%, which is a great thing. If we deliver up to 70%, 80% by the end of the tenure, then naturally,
well, frankly,
people will say, hold on. Then naturally, the people say the NDC should continue. Do you understand? So John leaves, and then